In the last two classes, we have discussed about the course content and the programming concepts. Under this course content, this course, we call it as full stack Java with AI, and we have divided into 8 modules like core Java, artificial intelligence, web technologies, database concepts, advanced Java frameworks, real-time and DevOps tools, and full stack Java project. And I've elaborated about each and every module as an overview. And last class, we started with programming concepts, where we discussed about the meaning of program, the meaning of comments, keywords, variable, data type, how to declare a variable, the concept of method and function, or method or function, and the concept of return type. So these things we have discussed in the last class. Whatever we discussed, again we are going to do in detail once we start off with Java programming. Today, we are going to enter into the major part, that is Java introduction. So before we enter into this Java introduction, a small question. Whenever we are developing software applications, we are having two approaches to develop the software applications. One is structured approach, means structured programming, and one more is object-oriented approach, object-oriented programming. Any idea which programming languages are structured programming languages? Which programming languages comes under structured programming?
Maybe C will come under structure because we don't use objects.
Yeah, C language, Pascal, COBOL, all older languages comes under structured. Object-oriented are like C++, Java, .NET, PHP, Python. All these are object-oriented programming languages. So Java comes under as object-oriented. So you can see Java is an object-oriented programming language. Developed by, this language is developed by James Gosling at Sun Microsystems. Where? At Sun Microsystems. Now, this Sun Microsystems is acquired by Oracle Corporation. This is acquired by Oracle Corporation in 2010. Now, onwards we should say Java is a product of Oracle Corporation. Now, since Java is object-oriented programming language, before we enter into Java, we should have a basic idea on object-oriented concepts. We are having totally 6 important object-oriented concepts, or we can even say features. They are objects, classes, abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. These are the 6 important object-oriented concepts or features. Now, let us start off with the first one, object. In order to understand Java, in order to enter into Java, we should have a basic idea on these two terms. What is object, what is class? So today, objective is, we'll understand about what is object, what is class. And when we go with object-oriented using Java, we are going to see all these concepts in detail in a proper way. Today, we'll see about object and class. The meaning of object is like any real-time entity. Any real-time entity which has features, which has some properties or features. Like example, if you consider a laptop, what features do we see before we purchase? Like RAM capacity, hard disk capacity, the make, the model, the screen size, color, price, all those things we are going to check. If you are having at least one feature, we call it as an object. How to define an object is like, an object is a real-time entity which has identity, state, and behavior. Let me elaborate these three terms like identity, state, and behavior using a diagram. We are trying to understand more about object. Hello, Naresh.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, we just started with Java introduction. So Java comes under object-oriented programming language. In order to understand about Java, we should have a basic idea about object-oriented concepts like objects, classes, abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. And in order to enter into Java, a basic idea about object and class is enough. So today, our discussion is about our object and class. So initially we started with object. The meaning of object is like any real-time entity which has identity, state, and behavior. Let me elaborate this more using a diagram. We are trying to understand about object. A car, something like item car. I'm considering a car. Now, when you take this car, how to identify a car uniquely? By using the registration number. How to identify? By using some registration number. Then, for a car, we go with the state. The state means the properties what we see in the car. So when you take a car, what features do you check before we purchase? Like we'll understand about the make, model, color, price, capacity, like this. So capacity means it can be seating capacity, fuel capacity, engine capacity, like that. Anything we can consider, like fuel type, like petrol or diesel. So what are the features we see in the object, in the car, we call it as state. This state, we can even call it as, the terminologies are important today. This state, even we call it as properties, data members, or fields. This we call it as data members, or properties, or variables, or fields, or attributes. Different people use different terminologies. For an object, it goes with the behavior. When you take car, what behavior it has, what actions we can do on car? We can drive the car. What we can do, we can drive. Functionalities, we can apply brake. We can change gear. We can stop. We can reverse, like this. So the functionalities only we call it as behavior. And this behavior, we can call it as methods or functions. This behavior, we can even call it as what? Methods or functions or operations. What is the meaning of object? An object is what? It's a real-time entity which has identity, state, and behavior. Clear this diagram?
Yes.
Right. Now, moving to the next term, class. How to define a class is like, a class is a collection of data members and methods, meaning the state of your object will act as data members, the behavior will act as methods. Like example, how to create a class in Java is by using a keyword class. What is the meaning of keyword? It's a predefined word where language can understand. So by using a keyword class and the name of the class, like example, I'm taking person. Open and close curly braces, meaning where the class begins, where the class ends. Now, in this class, it's a collection of data members. So data members means variables only. So for a person, what we go? We go with the age of the person. We go with the name of the person. We go with the height of the person. When you take age, in age, what type of data we store? A numeric value without any decimal point. So we say integer. So age is of what? An integer. Name, in name, we go with collection of characters, alphabets. So we say string. Height, we go with a numeric value with a decimal point like 5.2, 6.8 like that. So this we call float. A numeric value with a decimal point is float. We go with the methods like void, eat with some code inside. Void, walk with some code inside. These are our methods. So these are what here methods. So what makes a class? A class is a collection of data members and methods. Now, once we create the class, outside of class, this point is important to enter into Java. Once you create the class, outside of class, what do you mean by outside? After curly braces, if I try to give value to age, this is error. We cannot access these members outside of class directly. Then, how to access these members outside? How to access this point is important to enter into Java. This is the main point what I require to enter into Java. The point is the members of the class are accessed using objects with the dot operator. With what? Dot operator. What is the meaning of members of class? It can be your data members or it can be your methods. So these all things we call members. So they are accessed using what? Objects with dot operator. Then, how to create object programmatically? Creating objects. How to create objects in Java is the syntax is, what is the meaning of syntax? The rules of language. The syntax of creating object in Java is we go with the class name, then object name means variable name equal to new class name. And with semicolon. New is a keyword here. Like example. What is the class we have created? Person. Person is the name of the class. Go with the class name, then some object name in some variable p equal to new person. So in this, p is an object of class person. Now using this p with the dot operator, now we can give value to age. Using this p with the dot operator, now we can give value to name. Since name is of type string, the value should go in double quotes. Using p, we can give the value to height. Using p with the dot operator, we can call the method walk. We can even call the method eat like this. So by using object only, we can access the members of the class. By using object only, we can access the members. Any questions, anyone up to here?
No.
Right.
No.
Just a second. So what we discussed today, the meaning of object. Object means any real-time entity which has identity, state, and behavior. And we discussed about class. So what makes a class? It's a collection of data members and methods. How to create a class in Java? Just use a keyword class and the name of the class. Go with some data members and methods. Once you create the class, if I want to access these members outside of class, what I should create? Object. Using object with the dot operator, we can access the members. Now, even though we discussed what is object, what is class, still we may be having some confusions how to differentiate it, how to identify object and class when the requirement is given to us. For that, let me take one small scenario. So the concept is identify objects and classes. Let me take one small scenario. Like example, like Mr. XXX teaches Java at RRR Technologies. PPP attends Java sessions. Mrs. XXX teaches testing at the same company. QQQ attends testing sessions. This is our small scenario given to us. Now, it is asked to develop this application using object-oriented. When you want to develop application using object-oriented, we have to identify the objects from the given scenario. How to identify the objects is we have to identify the nouns. The nouns are your objects. So in this, what are the nouns here? Starting from beginning, what are nouns here?
Java.
Yeah, Java. Before that, before Java,
XXX.
right? Mr. XXX, right? Then Java. After Java,
Regular.
right? RRR, right? First one, Mr. XXX. Then Java. Then RRR Technologies. Then after that,
Triple P.
PPP. Then
Java.
Mrs. XXX. Java already we have done. Then after Mrs. XXX, testing, and finally QQQ, right? So these are our objects. So the nouns are your objects. Then once we identify the objects, our next step is we have to categorize these objects. Like example, if you take Mr. XXX and Mrs. XXX, what is the role they are playing here? What these two people are here?
Teaching.
Teaching, right?
Yeah.
They are what doing? Teaching. So the people
Teaching.
who teach, we call them as teacher or professor or lecturer or faculty. I'm just going with the name. Then Java and testing. What these are here? Course, subjects, technologies, right? So I'm going with the name course.
Course.
Then RRR Technologies, it's a company or institute. Then PPP and QQQ. These are students, right? Students or participants or candidates like that, anything. So these 4 names what we got, faculty, course, company, student, these 4 names only we call them as classes. So once you categorize your objects, we get the classes. So the real existing things are our objects. The generic names what we use, they are classes. So we can even define a class like a class. A class is a collection of related objects. So what makes a class? It's a collection of related objects. So simple. If you take our scenario only, this class, myself, Raj. Raj is an object of class faculty. You people like Gautam, Naresh, Uday, you people are objects of class what? Student here. If you take our scenario, right? So the real existing things are your objects. The generic names what we use, they are classes. Clear this point?
Yes.
Right. Moving to the next concept here, Java features. We're having the important features of Java like Java is simple. Why we say Java is simple here? Because if you consider, like we are having a concept of arrays. We are having what? A concept of arrays. So what is the use of arrays? To collect the elements. Arrays can hold multiple values. Once you collect the elements, I want to sort the elements. Sorting means arranging elements either in ascending order or descending order. Now, if I want to do this task using C or C++, we should write something around 10 to 15 lines of code. But the same task I can do in Java using a simple predefined class arrays. Arrays is one of the predefined class which contains a method sort, and to this just we pass our array name. So just to give the array name, this single line of code will sort the elements present in the array. So in that way, Java will become simple. So why Java is simple is, Java is simple as it contains lots of APIs, means application programming interfaces. Even simple words, we say it as libraries. So the meaning, existing codes, the already existing classes only we call libraries or APIs. As the days goes on, we'll understand more about how to browse the API and how to complete the task using API. And even I'll be giving task to you where you need to open API to complete the task. The next feature is Java is object oriented. Already we know this. Java is object oriented. So Java is object oriented. As it supports all the OO features, like objects, classes, abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. So this is very, very important. So this will take totally 5 classes for us to complete only on this. This is the base for our Java. The next feature is Java is robust. The meaning of robust is like strong. Robust means strong. Like simple example, let us suppose you are typing a document in Microsoft Word. After typing the document, I want to print the document. Right? we want to do? We want to print the document. So let us suppose when we issue the print command, the printer is not connected to your system. The printer is not connected to your system. Then what will happen? Will Microsoft will give a message that printer not connected, or will it close automatically? It's going to give message to us, right? It won't close the application automatically. It won't close application automatically. So this type of applications only we call robust. Meaning, if any abnormal situation occurs, like printer not connected, the application should give proper message to the user what went wrong. Should not close applications automatically. Such type of applications only we call robust. In Java also, we can develop robust applications. In Java, we can develop robust applications using exception handling. Exception means a runtime error. Once it occurs, it is going to terminate your program. So exception handling is to handle that exception. Why we have to handle? In Java, we can develop robust applications using exception handling, which avoids the abnormal termination of application or program. So this topic is also very, very important, and this will take for us 2 classes only to discuss on exception handling. Next, Java is portable. Java is portable. If you consider C or C++, if you are not having any idea, no worries at all. No worry about this. What is size of integer data type? Any idea? How
4
much
bytes.
memory space? 2 bytes or 4 bytes, right? It's going to occupy 2 bytes on 32-bit operating system, 4 bytes on 64-bit operating system. So the size differs when you change your platform. Let us suppose you are writing a C language program on 32-bit. If I take the same C language program to 64-bit, I need to take care of memory issues because memory is different. Memory is what? Different, right? Okay, so when you are writing a C language program on 32-bit, okay, so can we write the same program on 64? No. So memory different. So I need to go to the program and do the changes based on our memory allocation, based on the platform. That's the reason C and C++ are not highly portable. C and C++ are not highly portable, right? Coming to Java, when you take Java, what is size of integer data type? It is same. It is same. That is 4 bytes. 4 bytes on 32-bit or 64-bit operating system. Its size remains same. So that's the reason we say Java is portable. So why Java is portable? Java is portable since the size of respective data types is same on all platforms and all operating systems. When we start with the Java basics, there we'll see what data types are present in Java and what are their sizes. Next, Java is secure. Java is secure. So here also we require some background of C or C++. If no idea, no worries. Here we are having a concept like a pointer. A pointer is a variable. A pointer is a variable which contains the address of another variable. Like example, if you declare any variable like int n equal to 10, what is going to happen over here is, in our RAM memory, it's going to allocate memory space for n variable with a value 10. So it's going to allocate memory space for n variable with a value 10. And let us assume the address of this variable is some 100. I'm assuming the address of this variable is 100. Now our objective is, I want to take this address and store it into some other variable. How to do is, we should write the code like this. In C or C++, I'm writing int star p equal to and n. When you write and n, it's going to give address of n variable. So since this p is pointing to address of n, we declare like star p pointer. So what is going to happen now? It's going to create a pointer p which points to this memory address. Now the advantage of writing the code like this is, by using this p, I can go to this address and we can even change the value also. I can play with addresses here. We can even change the value. By using p, I can go to any memory address. I can even change the value. By using pointers, I can go to any memory and even corrupt that memory also. That is the reason virus or antivirus applications are developed using C and C++. But Java is for what? Business applications, not for system applications. Java is mainly for business applications. So that's the reason in Java, they have removed this pointer concept in Java, because pointers violate security. I can go to any memory and corrupt also. So why Java is secure? The point what you should remember, Java does not support pointers. That's the final point you should remember. Java is secure as Java does not support pointers, as pointers violate security. So simple final conclusion, in Java, no pointer concept at all. Next one, Java is multi-threaded. What is multitasking? Multitasking means opening multiple applications. Like in my case, I've opened browser, Paint, Notepad, GoToMeeting like this. Then what is a thread? The meaning of thread is like, if you take Gmail, in Gmail, how many compose windows we can open? Multiple. So how many compose windows we can open? Multiple. So if this is our task, Gmail is our task. And in this task, I'm able to open multiple compose messages. So every new compose message, we call it as thread. We call it as what? Thread. So threads are part of one task. Threads are what? Part of one task. Now, if I go with attachments, when I'm attaching the files, see, when attachments are going on, I can even type the subject and body also. When first attachment is going on, I can even attach second, third like that, because these attachments are also what here? Threads only. So threads are part of one task. So the advantage is performance. I need not wait, one thing should get completed. So doing multiple activities simultaneously, that is multi-threaded. So how to define? A thread is a lightweight process under execution within a process. If you take Gmail as process, the lightweight process are like compose messages, attachments. Compose messages, attachments, right? Hello, Hajarat.
Hi, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, good
Continue.
evening.
Thank you.
Okay, okay, right. You can follow the recording. Any questions? You can ask next class. Okay, Ajay.
Yes, sir. I get it.
Right, right. Thank you. So Java is what? It is multi-threaded. So a thread is what? How to define? It's a lightweight process under execution within a process. If you take Gmail as process, the lightweight process are like compose messages, attachments. And what is the advantage? Multi-threading is used to increase the performance of application. It is used to increase performance. One more good example is our GoToMeeting, or you can even consider Zoom meeting, okay, or Google Meet. All the meeting related also multi-threaded. In that, I can show my screen. It's a thread. I can speak with you. It's a thread. I can record the class. It's a thread, right? Next one. Java is automatic garbage collection. Java is what? Automatic garbage collection. Meaning, in Java, our work is only to allocate memory. Destruction of memory is taken care by Java only. If you consider C or C++, in C or C++, once we allocate memory, deletion of that memory, destruction of memory should be taken care by programmer only. But in case of Java, destruction of memory is taken care by Java only. That feature only we call automatic garbage collection. So we'll even discuss on this point more in future. Even this multi-threaded also takes 2 classes for us to complete. Java is dynamic. Java is what? Dynamic. Meaning, in Java, memory allocation for classes or arrays is done during runtime. Runtime means time. So in Java, memory allocation for your classes or arrays is done during what time? Runtime. So which we call dynamic. So when we start with arrays and object oriented, I'll discuss more on this point again. The next feature is Java is distributed. Java is what? Distributed. The meaning of distributed is like application to application communication. One application can communicate to another application. You can say distributed applications are used for the purpose of exchanging data from one application to another application. Application to application interaction, right? So for example, let us suppose we have opened the application Amazon. In Amazon, we are adding the products into the cart. After that, we want to do the payment process. So what are the different ways of doing payment process? Using net banking, UPI payments, credit card, debit card like that. Let us suppose you have chosen net banking and I want to connect to Axis Bank. So from Amazon, it redirects to Axis Bank application. So this only we call application to application communication. And how this is done is distributed applications we can develop using RMI, means remote method invocation. Remote method invocation. We can use EJB, means enterprise Java beans. We can use web services. We can make use of Spring REST. All above 3 are outdated. No one is using this. Nowadays, what we are using? Spring REST we are using to develop these distributed applications. Okay, right? The next feature is Java is platform independent. The meaning of platform is operating system. And the meaning of platform independent is if you write a Java program on Windows, I can run it on Linux or Mac. Can run it on what? Linux or Mac. Yes, Gautam.
Sir, Spring REST is that's a API, am I right?
Right. By using Spring REST, we develop REST APIs.
Okay. There is something called SOAP also. I keep hearing about
This
SOAP.
under this web services. So under this web services, we are having SOAP and REST services. Okay, but these are outdated now. People are not at all using this SOAP and REST services. People are using REST APIs nowadays because REST are HTTP protocol. So nowadays, most of the APIs starts with HTTP, right? That's the reason people are using the Spring REST model. Got it?
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So Java is what? Platform independent. So platform means operating system, meaning if you write a Java program on Windows, I can run it on any other operating system like Linux or Mac. That's the meaning of platform independent. You can say a Java program can run on any platform, means any operating system. We can even say like a Java program is write once, run anywhere, or write the program on one system, you can run it on any other system, right? So more on this platform independent, lot of things I need to discuss on this, which I'm going to discuss in the next session. So what we discussed today, we started with the Java introduction. Java is what? It's an object-oriented programming language developed by James Gosling. In order to understand Java, we should have a basic idea on object-oriented concepts that to mean these two words, object and class. So we discussed about what is object and what is class. The main important, once you create a class, like example class person, with some data members and methods, if I want to access these members outside of class, we have to create object like this. Class name, some object name equal to new class name. Using this object with the dot operator, we can access. So this is the main point what I require to enter into Java. Then we discussed about the Java features like simple, object-oriented, robust, portable, secure, multi-threaded, automatic garbage collection, dynamic, distributed, and platform independent. So we'll discuss more on this platform independent in the next class. And even we'll see how to download and install Java and how to develop a Java application. So that we'll see in the next class. And remember, next class will be on Monday, that is 27th of July at same 6 p.m. IST. Please use the same GoToMeeting link. GoToMeeting link to join, right? Same link to join, right? So, anyone having any questions? Yeah. Yes, Hazrat.
Could you share the Java installation files, Java and Eclipse installation files? We will do in our weekend and we will be ready with the Java in our
However,
systems.
I'm going to discuss in the class, right? Once I do, you can do that. Okay. You can do along with me. It won't take much time to do. Okay. Just something around 3-4 minutes. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay? Nothing to worry. So let us go slowly, smoothly. Okay.
Okay.
Sir, any textbook or any standard material is available so that we can procure it?
Just you can follow the class initially. Follow
Okay.
the class initially, and you can find a lot of books nowadays on net, right? Like complete reference, like that you can find.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Just to follow my notes initially. Then once you become strong, then you can go with any online references. Okay. So
Yeah.
for now, if you want to learn through online, you can make use of this like Java T point, tutorials point. You can make use of those websites to understand more on this text related matters. Okay. So, but suggested to follow my classes initially so that you'll have a follow. You have to follow the concepts in a proper way. Okay. You'll have a strong grip on the subject. Then after that, I recommend to go any of the websites or books to refer. Then you will understand in a proper way.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Right. So I don't want to make you to create a lot of confusions when you read other resources.
Correct. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much. Thank you all. And see you on Monday. Happy weekend.